Welcome into the Immigrant Podcast. I'm your boy Nikolai Hill. Program is brought to you by Nothing But Net International and Immigrant Apparel. So look, man, I'm out here looking like Cyril Regis. Those are names you wouldn't understand. I'm rocking my Jamaica jersey, the homeland. I've been watching this game of soccer, football for a long time. So if I say somebody like Cyril Regis or John Fashanu, or one of my favorite all-time players, John Barnes, the born Jamaican, yeah, I could see how you would have trouble understanding where I'm coming from. But this episode today is about the start of the EPL season. And yeah, I didn't want to wear my Arsenal jersey today because yeah, I'm trying to save them for later on in the season. So I gave you some quality, high quality Jamaican apparel here today. Hopefully, we'll see my homeland in the World Cup this year. World Cup qualifying is going to be happening here soon, and we're looking for big things from them. But we're talking about the EPL and the European game in general. Off to just a banger between Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Those four teams have spent $1 billion in acquiring players this offseason. Yeah, I said it, $1 billion. And for the revenue that they're bringing in, you think about it, $1 billion between four of those clubs, the top ones and top earners in the English Premier League. That's not a lot. But what we are seeing is the quality of the game rising in the English Premier League. 10 years ago, a lot of guys that watch soccer would tell you that, oh yeah, it's the biggest league and you could see it everywhere. And you could watch it on TV, but do they have the best players in the world? Nah, it's Italian league or Serie A or, La Liga. So there was actually a debate at one point. There's no debate. The English Premier League has the best players top to bottom. And you can say that Real Madrid and Barcelona or AC Milan and PSG that are in those other leagues are the cream of the crop when it comes to European football. But when it comes to the cream of the crop for the top 100 players, 200 players in entire Europe, 75% of those are playing in England, and 50% of those are playing for the top six clubs in England. And that's why the interest in the English Premier League is so massive. Big moves this offseason. I'm an Arsenal fan. So as an Arsenal fan, I'm absolutely on cloud nine. It's the best offseason we've had since the early 2000s. That year we got Nicolas Anelka and a couple of other players that we were trying to revamp the side, make it fresher when Arsene Wenger had just come in. So I remember those days, and he was one of the first signings. And that's when the Gunners, got their swagger back. And I feel like we got our swagger back right now. This offseason, and to complete with the signing of Eberechi Eze, which brings me back to a lot of what I felt like becoming an Arsenal fan, as when Ian Wright signed from Crystal Palace, because that's when I became an Arsenal fan. It's brought back a lot of memories. I was watching a video earlier this week that Arsenal posted, and I was low-key in tears, because it envisioned to me a lot of what a young man, a promising footballer like I was at one point, the dreams that even if for myself that didn't come true, it's been fulfilled through Eberechi Eze. He started as a Arsenal youngster, came through the academy, got cut, went to other clubs, worked on his skill and his craft, and now he's one of the best football players in England, maybe if not the world. But Manchester City, they've signed players like Reinders and Churchy, so they're going to be having a good year as well. Liverpool, Florian Wirtz, and Ekitike, strong team. Tottenham. Kudus has shown us that he's an exciting player, and he can help take Tottenham to where they want to go. And if you're talking about the likes of Manchester United, they're going to struggle because they have a depth problem. They're not a fully loaded team that they need to be, but they have a depth problem, and so they're going to struggle early. But I think between now and January, when they get players, hitting the mic, when they get players, they're going to become stronger at the end of the season. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the champions of the world, Chelsea, who also are in the Champions League, who are loaded and have gotten off to a fantastic start as well, with guys like João Felix and Delap and other guys that they've signed this year, Esteval. So I just want to You can't be a sports person and you can't highlight sports overseas without talking about soccer. We talk about football here enough. We hear it on the radio waves and on the TVs. So I'm not going to be that guy. There's not much to touch on football in the NFL that ESPN, the NFL Network, and the other 1,500 sports entities in the United States won't touch on. So the ball man, young Regis wanted to give you some information about the EPL and the EPL transactions in the first 2 weeks of the season. It's been your boy Nikolai Hill for another episode of the Immigrant Podcast. Take it easy.